I tell my journey of relocation to Africa over 5 years ago, after coming 8 years ago in 2015. When I got off the plane in Senegal, I decided that once I had an opportunity to look around, I felt that this is where I wanted to spend the rest of my life. And ever since then, I've been operating and working and living in the Gambia, West Africa, and having traveled to several countries. But in any case, we're going to talk about a video that Kenganda did, and he actually used a video I did to actually, talk about some situations that was taking place here in the Gambia. And I figured that I would give you guys a first-hand account of what. Okay. So the Gambians going to war with African Americans. The connection is kind of, going in and out. However, just bear with me. I've been planning on doing this video for a few days, but as you guys know, I'm not someone that's, have a YouTube studio or, on StreamYard, and, I'm working to get all of that stuff mastered out. However, I do have a very busy lifestyle with, family and, business and things that I'm doing. However, in any case, I think it's utterly important that those who are looking to come to Africa, understand what they're getting into. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump right into it, and I'm going to respond to a few of clips that I've actually taken from the video. And hold on one second. I'm going to get the first one, and I'm going to do it right off of my device here. Okay,
where is it even at? It's in West Africa, but it's surrounded and engulfed by another larger country, Senegal. That's going to be important later. So let's talk about the Gambian and people repatriating there. Rewind! So in 2020 is when I first started hearing about people coming to the Gambia, just like I started hearing about people coming to Tanzania. But there was one person in particular that I noticed, a lady by the name of Juliet Ryan, and I came across her information when I saw Wodi Maya go to the Gambia around that same time. And she was doing a lot of activism in the Gambia regarding automatic citizenship for the diaspora.
It's for our religious leaders, not government.
Weighing in on the ongoing debate on automatic citizenship for descendants of those enslaved in the New World, the outspoken politician says all African diaspora returnees who are resident in the Gambia should be accorded citizenship status. Juliet Ryan also supports automatic citizenship for African diaspora returnees.
For us diasporas to really be Gambian, to really be African. So our ancestors were taken free. So I have Gambian DNA. My DNA says I'm Gambian. I might speak with a British accent, but I'm Gambian.
And that wasn't the only.
Okay, so that's one clip right there, and this was during the time where the Gambia, they had a constitutional review, and and that was something that she was championing, and I was actually there that day. I started out, Juliet was my first business partner here, and I started out with her with maybe just a few weeks after Wodi Maya had came and saw her, and she had the video that went viral. And Wodi Maya started her and got her YouTube channel started. How I met Juliet, I saw the video, but I didn't seek her out in that type of way. I just saw the video. It was just somebody that made a video. However, once I started, after being here for about 2 years and running a training program, I would train Gambians with my own money. Anybody that know me and see my channel, you can go back and see I have videos going back 6 or 7 years. After 2 years, I decided that we were going to go out and we were going to network with individuals from diaspora and, see how we can, kind of help and kind of build, because that was the idea, to, build up the Gambians to prepare them for. So the idea was prepare the Gambians so that we can facilitate for people that's coming over. I was on Facebook and I saw a brother, who I would later find out was Juliet's husband. He said, we was on Facebook. He was like, me and my wife is in the Gambia. Why don't you stop by? So that's what I did. I said, okay, I'll come through and I'll stop by. Hey, Kiki, how you doing? So I said, okay, I'll stop by. So I met Adrian online on Facebook. And then once I went to once I went to the house, I saw Juliet there. And I was like, oh, that's the lady that, did the video. So at that time, from that time for about 5 months, we were together every single day. When I went over there, she was just starting her channel. They had the store, they were importing stuff, bringing stuff in from the UK and things like that, secondhand stuff. And they had a little store right on Palmarima, so I would, bring about 4 people down there that I had a team. We already had our thing going on. We were already straight, and, we would go down there and we were helping Juliet build up her YouTube channel, build up her platforms. We would go around. We would do videos with her, we would help with the store, we would help with people that were coming into the country. We pretty much did, everything that needed to be done, for the Blacks organization. We was actually doing it for the people and we were not getting paid for that. And after a short period of time, myself and many other people saw that things weren't going to work out. It was more about someone promoting their own agenda, someone promoting, their own, their own family legacy. It wasn't about the community. It was about an individual promoting their own family legacy. And the storyline became, okay, you can come over and you can buy land and you can build your own home. Okay? So all the content that was being created around her buying her land and building her house for her and her family. So what happened is many other people wanted to do the same thing. Many other people wanted to build a house. So they started sending money over so that they can actually, buy land. But the problem was nobody at that time was a real estate agent. It was just, going to real estate companies and saying, hey, we got people that want to buy land. We was working with one real estate company, and early on we found out that this real estate company had issues. Early on, we found out they had issues. So this was the plan. The plan was to buy a huge piece of land as a community. Get enough people who wanted to purchase land. We find a piece of land and make sure that that land is free and clear, and then go in and buy the land as a community. This was being promoted. However, that's not what was taking place behind the scenes. It was a rush to get money, to build the house. And with celebrity and with all of this fame comes a lot of greed. And and that's what we saw. I mean, in hindsight, anybody that's been watching this whole process, we saw the Blacks organization flop. You understand? And it was a lot of drama that came up out of something that could have been, out of this world. Everyone adored her. Everyone loved her because of, how she was able to present, our plight and our struggle. However, nobody's perfect. People are not perfect. And, a lot of people just blindly, had blind faith in sending their money over into a situation that ended up turning out to be very problematic for many people who purchased land. Let me turn this fan on. I don't know if you guys can hear this fan in the background, but I want to make sure that I'm heard. So as a community, we the idea was for us to buy land as a group. So this brings us to, so right now this brings me to my second business partner. So after a while working with Juliet, it was just time to go. It was time to go. And I think if anyone knows the situation and you go back and you do your research, a lot of people had problems with her. Many people. It's so many people that are that brought land that have problems with their land. It was disputed land. It was land where the taxes weren't paid. It was just a messy situation, and it brought a lot of dissatisfaction and a lot of loss for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. I mean, it was ridiculous because so many people were coming. Watermaya came, Dinus Amir came. This was 3 years ago. There's a lot of problems with land over here because of the way that people were doing things. You just can't come over here and say, hey, I'm going to get a plot of land or buy some land and build my home on it because you met somebody over here without going through the proper channels, without having a lawyer involved, and without going through a reputable real estate company. Early on, we were given an opportunity to, do a deal with a major land developer that got turned down because it was all the person just wanted money for themselves. The person that we were putting faith in to lead the community the right way, failed in that endeavor. Okay, so in the process of all of this stuff, I mean, I was just speaking with Kiki, and Kiki has been integral in the early days of all of this stuff that was going on here in the Gambia, and exposing, people who were coming over who lacked the understanding of, simple business practices, who lacked those understandings, and then being fueled, as she called, and being used as stooges or flying monkeys. Because when let me just go into this other video right here, and this video I'm going to show you now is of Art Cathy. Art Cathy came through the Blackset organization. Okay, prior to Art Cathy coming, I spoke with Juliet and Adrian, and I told them at the time, I was like, hey, other people are going to be coming into the country, because this was during COVID. Art Cathy made it over just before everything shut down. She made it over just before they shut everything. So I was sharing with them, we need to prepare for people that's coming over. So we need to create a network where we can mentor other YouTubers. We don't want to be the show. We want to be the network, because if we try to be the show, then that's going to put us in competition with everybody that come over that have a phone. Everybody that's coming over trying to replicate or reproduce, what they saw you doing. Everyone that think they can come over and just start selling land out of nowhere and just build their house, and we don't want that type of competition. We want to be able to harness the collective skills and talents of everybody under one umbrella, and then make strategic investments like every other ethnic group that comes in and that's been over Africa for several centuries, by working together. When Art Cathy came into the country, her and another girl, the first night they became very dissatisfied, very disappointed in the Blackset organization. Very disappointed from what they heard. And all of this stuff, like I said, at the time I didn't come out and I wasn't talking about it because I'm not a person that's going to sit around and gossip. However, in any case, they became disappointed because of Juliet and the way that she was talking about a friend of hers that came into the country and that ended up, going out with her doorman. They ended up hooking up, and Juliet did everything to destroy this lady's reputation and her character. And she, pretty much told him, hey, don't come over here trying to hook up. But it was just, like I said, it was just the type of things that was taking place was just very immature, very childish, and had nothing to do with business and nothing to do with how we should have been representing ourselves in the face of tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, that were led to the Gambia, or who attentions were brought to the Gambia with Watermeyer. Like a lot of the big YouTubers out there, I know you guys, you go around and you do interviews with different people, but that's a double-edged sword. You have to, and I mean, nobody could expect that if you're gonna go somewhere and do an interview with somebody, they're gonna take that fame and that notoriety and then use it in the wrong way. However, that's exactly what we've seen happen and take place here. If you go to Kenganda's channel, you'll see the video there, and it's actually me at the High Court. I did a video at the High Court because we have a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against those individuals, including Juliet Ryan. I say it in the video, who caused a major disruption here, and it damaged, thousands of people were damaged. So let me go into this other video right here. I'm gonna try to keep this under an hour. I don't like to get up here and be long-winded and just be talking. I want to be able to, give you guys some understanding and bring some value to the situation. But this is Art. Art became my second business partner. When she came here, she was from Atlanta. We hit it off. Art's she's an extraordinary person. She's been into radio. She's been into comedy. And she's been into activism. And she really has passion for our people. So let me go ahead and show you this video right here.
Gambians, fellow Gambians, I'm here, and you're not going to like this message because I'm going to tell you the truth. One of the problems that you have is that y'all don't like to tell the truth. Africans don't like to tell the truth, just like black folks back at home in the West, they didn't like to tell the truth. I've noticed this so many times since being here, and I know a lot of diasporans, they're going to need to see and hear this.
Okay, so anybody that know Art Cathy, we know that Art Cathy is very controversial, and she speaks her mind. But however, she started out earlier by saying, "Hey, people aren't truthful here in Africa and in the States." So she's speaking in a broad sense, but however, she's talking about the Gambia in this particular incident, in this particular circumstance. And let me tell you this. From the Black State organization to working with Art Cathy allowed us to operate. She helped support 18 Gambians while we were with her. During COVID, when we started her channel, Art only had 200 subscribers at that time. So I'm telling her, get a YouTube channel, get on YouTube. And at this time, I was transitioning from the Black State organization. The idea wasn't to leave. I wasn't going to leave the organization. We actually had a mediation, so we can, work together, with Adrian and, I said, hey, we can still work together, but I be restricted to who I can work with because I'm a business developer myself. So when people coming into the country and they want to build business, that's what I'm here for. The idea was that I was supposed to be exclusive to Black State and I couldn't work with nobody else and things like that. And that, okay, this is just going in and out a little bit. But you decided, hey, if he's going to work with Art Cathy, Black State was going to do their thing. I was like, fine. You know what I mean? So I started, we started out with Art Cathy, and immediately everything started to blow up for us in a crazy way. I mean, we were getting like 100 subscribers a day. 100 subscribers a day. That's how many people liked what they saw coming from us, and what we were sharing about, building a community. I was with Blackset. I was the business developer, and the same thing with Art Cathy. I build the websites. Me and my Gambian team, we built the databases, all the intellectual properties. We created real estate reports where people can, buy, spend $99, and we would, go out there and we would get them properties based on their preference. And many people that that purchase real estate reports, and it was 800 people. We had hundreds of people. By the time, over the 9 months that the whole world was shut down, we accumulated over 800 people that signed up between Art Cathy's site and my site, Invest Relocate Africa, as members of the community that we were building here in the West Africa. And you guys have to understand it's not Gambians at war with diaspora. It was diaspora at war with diaspora. And we saw it. And as a result, we became more of a victim than we would have been if we were working together like we had some sense. Okay? It was a tremendous diversion that was created with accusations that was made about what we were doing. It was a glass house over here, because Africa was a place that everyone was looking to get to escape the West and escape our troubled past in the West. So over here was like it was a clean slate over here. So it was this beacon of light that people were seeing over here with Africa. So what happened was, once I left that organization, we started taking all of the, business, I guess you can say. But all the people started gravitating towards us because Juliet's from the UK. 80% of the people that were coming over here were from the US. So they were able to relate to me and Art Cathy better than they were able to relate to Juliet and Adrian. And that's just the simple fact, and that's the truth, and the numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie. And it was never about becoming competition to one another. However, that's just going to happen, especially amongst people that don't want to work together. And then when you have people in leadership roles, so-called leadership roles, just because they have a YouTube channel. So in any case, what happened was the same person, Juliet Ryan, she enlisted Negropean, this a guy from the UK. She enlisted this man into the Pan-African movement to destroy the movement. She contacted this lady who could have had hundreds of thousands of subscribers. She could have had hundreds of thousands. All she had to do was follow Watermeyer everywhere he went. Did a follow-up. Yeah, I'm Juliet, Watermeyer came through, and, we're in the country and we wanted to come and do an interview with you. She could have had hundreds of thousands of subscribers. You understand? But when we're thinking so small, we're thinking about this small little country, the Gambia. We want to dominate it. Small minds. There's people looking for all over the world. We need leaders. We need people that understand the macro, that understand, the global economy and the responsibility and the blessing that we have to be a part of that. In this day and time where people were looking for a way out of the West and all of its financial pressures and all of its, everything is falling in the West. I don't have to sit here and talk about it. That's why so many people wanted to come and tie in to Africa and what's taking place. But we can't do that with the same mindset that's destroying our people in the West, with our westernized mindset. It made us a lot wiser. She enlisted this guy to come in and to attack our community of 800 people. And this all came out. He eventually turned on her and said, yeah, she told me, she was giving me information about you and Art Cathy. I mean, if you're such a strong person in what you're doing, why do you feel the need to go somewhere and get somebody else to try to attack somebody? Do your thing. But the business ethic wasn't strong, and the morals and the values weren't strong. Her and her husband ended up getting a divorce. And he was one half of Blackset. Very devastating, a very sad thing that we all had to see and we all had to witness. While thousands of people here in the Gambia were affected, we had 800 people ourselves, over 200 investors. People had executed investments. We had properties that we had for people to come over and have a place to stay. If anybody know me or see anything that I'm tied into, it's not shabby. It is what it is, because I don't need to lean on the community. I was already over here doing my thing for years. All we had to do was just duplicate what I did. Then most of the people that came over, they wanted to take over what I was doing. It was the YouTubers that were here on the ground. It was Juliet. It was Black Acres of the Gambia. People that should have been taking a leadership role, they were at odds. Black Acres don't like Juliet, me and Juliet don't like Black. I asked Juliet to interview Black Acres because I met them before I knew Juliet. They took me out to the land before they had their YouTube channel. Before Juliet even got started. That's how deep this thing go. I went out there with Cynthia and Rick before they went back to the States the first time. I had no problem with them at all. I'm always trying to connect my people together. How could we work together? I'm not coming here asking for nothing from nobody. I'm bringing something to the table. But all of that, when they came back, I reached out. Even before I came to Africa, I used to see Rick online, and I would, I'll reach out to him and another brother that would be out there, before I even came over here. But when I came, and I linked up with them, and we went out to the land and stuff. I was in their 12-passenger van truck. You understand what I'm saying? But they went back to the States, and then I ran into Juliet and started working with Juliet. I said, hey, Juliet, interview the bag. They're starting a channel. Interview these people. She was like, oh, no, I don't want to interview them because I only show the best of the best of the best of the best. This is what she's saying. So from there, it became a problem. It became a division right there. It's really all petty, but, now that we know we can do better, it doesn't stop anything. We can still move forward and do better. A few people can't be responsible for running an organization that involves many people. These movements have to be 100% community owned and community operated. It can't, the time of the individual personality, man, that time is over with, man. We have far more skill sets as a collective than any one individual in their capacity can distribute if they're not smart. But Art Cathy was someone that she understood that, hey, she was like, Kwesi, I'm gonna let you do your thing. When people were sending money in and investing, I couldn't believe it. I never thought black people would come together the way that they did during my time with Art Cathy. I knew in theory because when we were at my compound and I was building with my Gambian team, I would always tell them, I was like, we're learning all of these systems and all of these processes. One day, all of these things are going to be moving. All of these databases are going to be moving. I didn't know how though, but I knew. And it didn't happen with Blacksit. But when Art Cathy came, it went down. She was like, okay, Kwesi, take charge. Every time money came in, she gave the money directly to me, and we kept full account of it, every penny of it. And I was the largest investor. I've been investing tens of thousands of dollars before everybody even came over here. And that particular year, I invested $20,000. And it's all on paper, and all of my bank statements were put out there. That shows that I had a business and I was making hundreds of thousands of dollars with my business. And I didn't need, anybody's money. Okay. I just, I did a video. You guys can go to Kenganda and you can go and check out the video. I'm not going to sit here and just show these videos like this and things like that. I was actually working on, just putting it together, grabbing some clips and things, but the days started to pass and I said, let me get up here before, too many days pass. Fury Hater, Goofy. I don't know what that's all about there, so let me see something. Okay. I don't know what this person is trying to relate there, but in any case, the problem became with the land. And this is what happened. Most countries that you're going to go into, as Kenganda shares, the people were poor. They don't have a lot of money. So they're going to, and then there's not a lot of regulation. So it's a lot of gray area for a lot of problems. A lot of gray area for problems. So if you're just coming over thinking you're going to lease a spot, or buy a land, or buy a car, and things like that, and it's the same as in the West, you're going to get a bad situation. A bad situation. Even coming over, if you're coming over and you're going to get a compound and you're going to live by yourself, like we do in the West. That's not the way things are done here. You have to, it's communal, it's families. I've never got robbed or broken into because it's always people at my house, many people. So the Black Acres have been broken into once or twice. Juliet House has been broken into once or twice. The Arrival has been broken into once or twice. The sister of Veronica that passed away, her house was broken into, and then, she ended up passing away. So it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on when you're in a whole nother place. And, you don't really understand the culture. So you got to learn the culture. But a lot of disruptions were brought to our community because of people was out to try to get money. A lot of disruption was brought to our community. So are you going to be taken advantage of if you come and you show that you don't have love for your own brother? You don't have love for your own sister? There were so many people that came over that wanted to jump into the drama because they were clout chasing, because they wanted to gain favoritism with Juliet, because they wanted to gain favoritism with Black Acres. They were participating in all of the drama, all of the gossip, all of the hate. to their own detriment. It made us look very bad, and it put a lot of us at jeopardy. It's, you know, there's about 3 or 4 sisters that have passed away. You know, Miss Beverly, she was the first sister that passed away over here that I know of, that came through. You know, she came through Blacksett. She brought land through Blacksett with us. She actually stayed at my compound. You know, I was hosting people at my personal compound. You know, in the early days, about, you know, maybe about probably a good 10 people. You know, Juliet was there, a few other people was there, Miss Beverly was there. And Miss Beverly, I told her when she first came in, I said, Miss Beverly, don't deal with anybody without, you know, consulting me. You know, so I can make sure that they're straight. You know, and she ended up dealing with someone, and she lost about $7,000 or $8,000 on some land because she wanted to do things by herself. She eventually, you know, even with the land that she brought in the first with Blacksett, it was problems with that. It was problems with that. We were supposed to buy the land together and make Blacksett City. That's what it was supposed to be. All of us working together. But we can't work together. We don't recognize the potential in our brother. We don't recognize the potential in our sister. We don't recognize the potential in our husband. We don't recognize the potential in our wives. We don't recognize the potential in the young people or in our elders. This is the sickness that, you know, that plagues our community. And that's why, you know, we are being annihilated in the West. If you don't see it, you'll never see it. And then, you know, like my nephew said, and like I've been saying, you know, you'll be on the plantation in another 10, 15 years. You'll be on the plantation. You know, so, you know, I'm going to go into another video here. This video right here is of this sister, her name is Dee. And Dee made so many videos about me and Art Cathy. You know, a lot of people were just coming out, just, you know, YouTube is largely entertainment and gossip and things like that. It's not a place for any type of collective endeavor and, you know, where we're going to come together. It can be, you understand what I'm saying? But you got to weed through 99% of the garbage. It can be. Just because someone talks good, you know, just because you like what's okay. Are you edging? I don't know what that means. You can be more direct with that. Hi, yes, I am. Okay, this is D. A lot of people came out, and a lot of people were dissatisfied with, you know, Art Cathy and the way that she did things, and, you know, her rhetoric and things of that nature. And, you know, she had a lot of problems. And it's unfortunate, you know, a lot. I don't think a lot of people, a lot of you brothers and sisters that's looking on, that's familiar with the situation. We had a lot to deal with, and I'm saying that about me and my Gambian team. You know, we had a lot to deal with people that were coming over that we were hosting because they had a lot of mental and emotional issues. You know, not only did we have to play the part of the community builders, we had to play the role of you know, counselors. You know, we had to, you know, help people in situations where they were having breakdowns or they were just going through, you know, emotional or mental crisis. You know, these are the type of things that need to be addressed in the community, you know, if a community is to be built, because it definitely exists. And we see it, and we've seen the problems that have taken place over the last, you know, 3 years with this whole repatriation movement and all the traumatized people that have come over here and, you know, think that if you just come over here and try to do things your own way, that you're not going to have problems. And then they feel like, oh, somebody scammed me. Oh, these people are corrupt. Oh, these people are liars and things like that. No, you just don't know what you're doing. Nobody else is, you know, other nationalities not having any problems. You know, they're importing, you know, their food, and they're importing their supplies, and they're importing equipment. You know, they're building businesses, they're building stores, they're building businesses. They're not having the problems that we're having. And then the first thing we want to do is run on YouTube so we can try to get some subscribers like we know what we're talking about, and we don't know what we're talking about half the time. And all we doing is bringing down other people that's looking over. But if you listen to these people, you'll be a fool. There's nothing happening in the West. It's all been prophesized. The West is done. The West is finished. People, you're seeing a lot of people in their families now. One brother, he just, who's seen that? The brother, he killed 7 people of his family, his 3 sisters, his mother, his aunt, his uncle, and then, he, as a bonus, he killed a Nigerian man somewhere. Then they chased him down and he killed himself. He's 25 years old. Another dude, he's 25 years old. He killed the grandmother, the grandfather, shot the cousin, and then shot the other 15-year-old cousin in the head. All of those mental health cases in the U.S. with guns, you think that's not going to reach a climax? It's already out of control, and it's supposed to be law and order. Could you imagine if there's, if the systems break down and the police is not around, like Katrina in Louisiana? Why is this saying 9 minutes? I know I was up here for 9 minutes. Anybody that's watching this book, man, that I'm going to give you free information on what you need to do to relocate and what you need to be aware of. We're going to go into this video of Sister D right here. She did a lot of videos about me and Art Cathy. However, in the end, once we were cleared of any wrongdoing, she came out and she made a video, exonerating us and things like that, which a lot of people didn't do. Because, our people, we just have a problem. We rather promote wrong as opposed to, doing the right thing. And that's just the way, we are as a people. So this is D right here. Let me play her right quick.
Growing underbelly that is specifically coming together in Gambia to wage war on the Black Americans that are coming there. The Black Americans are being seen as foreigners that are looking to usurp and take land that doesn't belong to them, that are looking to get land for free or on the cheap, land that has been denied to local Gambians who don't have the money. And people are really underestimating the resentment and the anger that locals feel when they see you coming from abroad, buying up land that belonged to their grandma, buying up land that belonged to their auntie, buying up land that belonged to their great-great-grandfather. Here's the bottom line. They don't think you deserve it. Yes, that's the truth. They don't think you deserve it. And therefore, they are making sure that they do everything possible to make you feel unwelcome and unsafe. And I would say right now, they are 1-0. If this were a football game, they'd be many yards, touchdown.
She's not here in the Gambia. And, the Gambian people, they are peaceful people, and they're very welcoming, However, there was a lot of the land that was being sold. When Juliet was selling the land, she was dealing with thousands of people. Now, this is one person, and she had a lot of Gambians that were around her and that was working with her and that was working within her organization that saw the problems. It was several big, huge land deals that she was involved with. Jambanjelly, Casa Kunda, and Basura. So a lot of the Gambians, they started to talk. And that's when the Minister of Lands had came out and he was saying, hey, people are buying land over here and they're taking advantage of, the Akalos and things like that. It was like a whole land for a borehole scam and things like that, where, she went in and she was like, okay, we're going to build a borehole here and let us have this land. Okay. Go look at Negropean channel. If you don't know, if you're not informed about it, all of this stuff has come out. All of this stuff has been talked about. And that's where the problems came with the land. And that's where the dissatisfaction came about with the land, because it wasn't a lot of people. It was just one person that had a lot of pull from her videos with Watermeyer, and then her own. She's not someone that's a slouch, as we would say. She's a very powerful speaker, and people like her, until they get on the ground. And anytime you have a great talent, but the way that you express it is in a very selfish way, you can't grow. Okay. It's just issues. Of course, this is Africa, so we have, it's going in and out. However, in any case, she about, the criminal element. It's, like I said, if we come over, we want to be as agreeable as possible. We don't want to come over, like Art would say, colonizer 2K, and we're coming over and we're thinking that we're better than the people that's here. Of course, they're going to grow, resentment is going to grow towards us, being in these countries. But if you're someone and you're coming over and you're humble and you're agreeable, you become a part of the family. You become a part of the community. Anybody go to any community, any hood, or anywhere, go in there acting like they Billy Badass, especially in the U.S., you're gonna leave up out of there, in a body bag. Anywhere you go, and you're not respecting the people, you have to be crazy to do that. That puts you in so much danger. We came over, man, just out of complete control. And, with this sister against brother mentality. And that's what we've seen, because, in the West, our sisters are elevated in a way in the West where, they are given the power in the West and the man is suppressed. So over here, when the sisters came over here, they felt that they had to, make it known that, hey, listen, we are the leaders. 75% of the people that were coming over were sisters. You understand what I'm saying? So they were, the few sisters that came over, and that was creating problems that really couldn't, hold up their end of the bargain. You understand? If these people were so-called, as intelligent and as smart as they're supposed to be, why a big community hasn't, can't come out of that situation, because they have the sympathy of everybody. But if you go back and do some research, you'll see how they end up starting, doing scams and getting people to send them donations and, playing the victim and things like that at the same time, while they were engaging in corrupt and illegal activities that they were accusing other people. I mean, it's just ridiculous. The problem is not with the Gambians. The war was being waged against diaspora. That's where the war was coming from. But, there is an element too that's sitting back like, okay, how could we exploit them now? So many of us are in court. So much money is tied up in the court process. It's crazy. But now we're a lot wiser now. We're a lot wiser, and we know how to move and we know how to operate. But don't let a few people stop you from exploring the opportunities out here, because it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I was out today. Every time that I go out, I'm just in awe at the people and how it reminds me of when I was young, how we were unified and how we were together. And, our people here aren't run down, and they're not, stressed out, and they're not, like have all of this media assault on our value system, and all of this Cardi B and this Nicki Minaj and this Megan the Stallion, and they had a video on YouTube, a little girl up there dancing at Nicki, and then another brother, he had a video right under there of the Chinese kids coming out doing some kung fu disciplines and things like that, working on smartphones. That's the America. However, opportunity exists here in Africa. We just have to be conscious of the enemy within. That being said, I'm gonna go ahead and close out this live for the night. I think I covered everything that I wanted to cover here. And yeah, we just have to be aware, man, and we have to do. The sad thing is that when all of that problem have started, but it started to fall apart quickly, but the damage was done already. Who is going to stand up for the hundreds and hundreds of people that were affected? And if you were affected, reach out, because we're gonna hold the people accountable. We have to hold them accountable. We have to. Too much damage was done to us, to our money, to our reputation. Mass Kwesi Gohar Gambia. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Until next video, peace.